Hey guys, it's Candy. Welcome back to Our Family Nest. So today I'm going to be doing another episode of reading my old pregnancy journals. If you've been keeping along, we left off to the point right before Chase was born. So that's where we're going to pick up today. And then I think we're actually going to be to the point where we're going to go back and read some entries in Blake and Andrew's journals as well. And then I believe it will be the next episode where we'll start Carly's journal. So here we go. Chase's birth story says, as I awoke the morning of November 25th, 2002, I could not believe that today was going to be the day. I mean, it felt just like yesterday that I was getting so frustrated with not getting pregnant, wanting to give up hope, having it finally happen, and then bam, here it is 9 months later and my baby's going to be in my arms before the day is over. Ken and I arrived at the hospital at 6:15 a.m. According to the hospital, we were late, but we knew from experience that we really didn't need to be there exactly 2 hours ahead of time. We checked in admitting and we were sent on our way to the labor and delivery unit. The nurse, whose shift was about to end, was waiting for us, so she right away had me get in the gown, and within 10 minutes she was poking me in the arm for my IV. My vein jumped the first time, so lucky me, I got poked twice. Then she asked me about 50 questions and I was about to tell her my request for my surgery. No resident anesthesiologist. I wanted the real deal. Catheter after my spinal. No reason to feel the discomfort if I don't have to. I wanted stitches, not staples, and a couple of medication requests. Boy, oh boy, I really knew what I wanted. I guess that's what happens once it's your third time. So then about an hour later, we met with the resident OB doctor. She did a quick ultrasound because she thought she felt his head up at the top of my belly, but it was just his butt sticking up. The nurses changed shifts and I met my nurse that would be with me during and after my surgery, which was Lori, a friend of mine that lives in my neighborhood. It was nice because I knew she would make sure I was taken care of. I also had 2 student nurses, which I approved. Hey, I was in nursing school at one time. You gotta learn somehow, right? Then my doctor arrived and I went over a few things, and within 15 minutes and a few hugs and kisses later, I was rolled away to the surgery room. At 8:11 a.m. I was transferred to the OR, which is the operating room, and the anesthesiologist began to poke away at my back. In the past, I have had trouble with epidurals and spinals. I have always had to get poked several times before they actually got it right. Very scary, but mostly very, very painful. I thought by requesting the real experienced anesthesiologist, I would avoid this, but I didn't. I still had to be poked 4 times and it hurt tremendously. All I can remember thinking the entire time was that there was no way I was ever having any more children after this. I kept praying the entire time, please just get me through this, and of course I did. Ken was then brought into the room as they finished prepping me. My arms were both tied down. I was hooked up to several monitors, had a catheter in place, a drape across my chest so I couldn't see anything, and an oxygen tube placed in my nose. I started to feel the spinal take effect, and I also felt a little nauseated. The doctor gave me something for the nausea and it passed pretty quickly. Then about 8:25 a.m. the doctor began the first incision into my belly. They ran into a lot of scar tissue, so it took them quite a while to get through to the baby. I felt tugging and pushing, but no real discomfort. Ken watched the entire thing. After all, it was his second time and nothing grosses him out. From what I was told, they had a hard time getting Chase out. My doctor thought that he was going to be at least 8 or more pounds and said jokingly that the baby did not want to come out. Ken said they used several tools to pull my uterus open as far as they could. Miraculously, at 8:52 a.m., Chase Matthew entered the world. I heard him cry within a few seconds and the tears came pouring down my face. The best sound in the world to any woman awaiting the birth of her baby. I did not get to see him, which disappointed me. I guess I should have discussed this with them ahead of time, but with my last baby, they had the bassinet right off to the side, so I was able to watch them do their routine on him as they were stitching me up. But with Chase, they had him out of my view, so Ken kept me up to date as to what they were doing. His APGAR score was 8 out of 9 due to some problems with his breathing. I was told he was struggling to breathe with his belly, but within several minutes he got the hang of it and was fine. At that moment though, I was so very scared and I must have asked Ken 20 times what was going on. My nurse also kept me posted every minute as to what was happening, but I still hated that I could not see him. They did eventually move his bassinet so I could see, but what was really only 15 minutes of waiting felt like hours. They weighed him and thought that the scale was wrong because he only weighed 6 pounds 15 ounces, and everyone thought he looked bigger than that. But later they reweighed him and it was accurate. Ken was able to take pictures in the OR. He even got a snapshot of my uterus laying on top of my chest and the placenta. Afterwards, after I was put all back together and unhooked from everything, I was wheeled to the recovery room where I got to start bonding with Chase. In the recovery room, Chase nursed right away like it was nothing new to him. He didn't fuss at all except when the nurses had to take him to check his vitals. Here, Ken and I got to really get a good look at our new baby. My favorite part of Chase was his dark brown hair. I had said all along during my pregnancy that it would be so nice to have a baby with dark hair and one that looked like me. Chase has my hair color and my dimple in his chin. I also seen a little bit of a dimple in his left cheek too. He really doesn't look like Andrew or Blake or his father for that matter. After a while, our moms came back so they could see Chase for the first time. They could not believe how small he was, especially since the doctors thought that he was going to be a bigger baby. After 2 hours in recovery, I was transferred to my regular room, and there I really began to spend quality time with Chase. The first 2 days I nursed him on demand pretty much every 2 hours for about 45 minutes at a time. Even though he wasn't getting any milk yet, he really liked to nurse and I enjoyed the time with him. My milk did come in early Wednesday morning, less than 48 hours after his birth. The puppies are playing in here, play fighting. The first night I had the nurses take Chase from 11 p.m. to 3:30 a.m. But other than that, he was with me in my room the rest of the time, minus me showering and him getting circumcised. I really have no complaints the entire experience except for a minor mishap. When the doctor removed the gauze Tuesday morning that was covering my incision, she was kind of quick about it and tore off a decent amount of skin with the tape. It was pure white flesh that hurt like something terrible when I showered the next day. Other than that, I really enjoyed my mother and baby time in the hospital, but after 3 days I was ready to go home and share baby Chase with the rest of my family. I was able to go home Wednesday around 5 p.m. and we spent our first Thanksgiving together as a family of 5 the next day. So, Tuesday, December 16th, 2013. All right, so that means we're gonna skip to both of the boys, right? 2013. Yeah, all right, April 7th, 2013, or what? Why am I saying 13? 2003. What in the world? Okay, this is Andrew's book. Did I say 2013? I don't know, it's 2003. So April 7th, 2003. Oh brother, it sure has been a long time since I last wrote in here. I kept reminding myself over and over that it was time. I wanted to write back around your 7th birthday and never did. Mostly because your baby brother Chase was born on November 25th, and being the mommy to 3 boys is sure a busy job. Let me think of some things that you have been up to this past year. You are in 1st grade now. Your teacher, Mrs. Digby, is really nice. She's older than Mrs. Altwise, your kindergarten teacher was, so in the beginning of school year, I think you were kind of scared of her. So you're really quiet, you paid attention all the time and never got in trouble. Well, that didn't last too long. You now get in trouble here and there. You lose your ticket about once a week, which is what happens when you talk out of turn or don't follow directions. You have been getting really good report cards. At the end of kindergarten, you were pretty much at average with your reading level. Since then, you have learned so much and read so well. Right now, you are reading level 3 books, which I think are pretty hard for your age. I definitely was not reading at that level at 7 years old. They expect so much more out of kids these days. You are addicted to video games. You play all sort of sports with KK and your Uncle Don. Your favorites right now are Kingdom Hearts and Dynasty Warriors. Did I say sports? You play all sorts of games with KK and your Uncle Don. I don't know what I just read, but whatever. You like to watch cartoons like Power Rangers and Pokemon. You get in trouble for fighting with Blake all the time. He's pretty tough at his age and sure puts up a fight. You like to play outside with the neighbors. Over last summer, we got an in-ground pool and you were kind of scared at first, but by the end of summer, you were jumping off the diving board and swimming underwater in the deep end. You ride your bike a lot around our cul-de-sac and you rollerblade too. You love to play street hockey with all the neighbors, even though you're the youngest boy out there. You are getting pretty mouthy as you get older. You talk back quite often and you get put in timeout a lot. You are still a picky eater, just like your mother. You refuse to eat anything with celery, onions, mushrooms, carrots, etc. in it, just like mom. No crunchies in your food. Your brother Chase Matthew keeps you busy too. I ask you every once in a while to hold his bottle for me or for you to give Chase his ninny. You complain every time. I ask, but you still do it for me. I try not to pay attention I try to not pay attention to Chase only, but sometimes it is so hard. You are a pretty good sport about it. Your dad and stepmom are about to have a baby too. You joke and say that hopefully they will have a girl again so that you will have 2 sisters and 2 brothers. We still don't know if we are done making babies for you or not. We sure have our hands full right now, and I personally cannot even imagine adding another baby to this family. We are ready to get past the stage where you are limited to where you can go and all. Next spring, we would like to take you guys to Disney and Epcot and other places in Florida. You have played almost every sport possible. Last year, you played t-ball, soccer, basketball, and football. You are starting the practices for your first real baseball team. It is going to be a lot more competitive than ever before. You may not play soccer at all this year, and even though you have played since you were 3 years old, the practices were going to interfere with baseball, and so far you have more interest in baseball and are better at it too. Last season, you hit several home runs. You are a real good hitter. You will probably play football again in the fall, and KK always coaches you, and as soon as you quit dreaming while you are out on the field, you might actually be a pretty good player. Well, I have 2 more journals to write in. Love you, Mom. And there's this piece of paper in here. Andrew read it. It says, Dear Santa, thank you for coming. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. To Santa from Andrew, Chase, Carly, and Blake. Here's a little note. Andrew must have wrote that. All right, so the next entry on his book isn't for a whole year from now. So these were definitely mostly like just pregnancy journals. Once the kids got older, I was not good at keeping up with it. Looks like I wrote one in 2004 and then 2010, and then that's it. I haven't wrote it in 10 years. When I first started these, I actually said that I was going to write in these again. I really need to put that on my to-do list. Back when I had a blog and I wrote a lot, this was actually how I did the entries, in case anyone ever was thinking about journaling. And if you're like me and you just don't like writing a lot, your hand starts to hurt, whatever, I would much rather type. I'm a pretty fast typer. So you could always write it out on a computer and just print it out and like paste the pages in, like with photos and stuff too. So that's just an idea I thought I would share with you guys. All right, so then we're gonna go to Blake's, which the entry was written on the same day, April 7th, 2003. It says, pork skin. Yep, we still call you that. You are a little brat on wheels. You are such a stinker. You are too cute, but you get in trouble all the time. You are talking nonstop, driving us all crazy. We are working on potty training right now, and you do pretty well, but we aren't quite there yet with you telling me when you have to go. I usually have to ask you. I'm hoping that you will be 100% trained by your 3rd birthday, just like your brother Andrew. You have a new brother, Chase, that was born November 25th, 2002. You weren't really thrilled with the idea of not being the baby of the family any longer. When you came up to visit me and the baby for the first time, you told me to put the baby back in the bassinet, that you didn't want me holding him anymore. I actually remember that. He just kept pointing and saying, put him back, put back. It was so cute. Then when we brought him home, we were in the car and you said you wanted to go back to the hospital so we could take him back. You said that a few times too. After about a month, you didn't seem to mind anymore. You love him very much and are starting to play with him a little. I figure by the time Chase is down on the floor crawling around, you will really enjoy having a younger brother around. We think that we may be done having children, but we're not for sure. Next spring, we want to take you guys to Disney in Florida, and that should be so much fun with you being 3, almost 4 by this time next year. I could write hundreds of stories of silly things that you have done. Some are not so silly, but still cute to tell. So here's where the list starts. You tend to get into everything. One day there was Windex left on the bathroom counter. You and Andrew were watching movies in my bed. You decided to take the Windex and pour it all over Andrew in our bed. That was really nice to clean up. You took Desitin, which is diaper rash ointment, and rubbed it all over the dog's face. Then she jumped onto our $800 chair and rubbed her face all over it. I had to wash and scrub it 4 times to finally get the chair clean. You poured out all of the bubble bath shampoo and baby soap into the bathtub all at once. You were sure clean that day. You still call your brother Ditu, and we still call him that too. He couldn't say Andrew, so he called him Ditu, so we would call Andrew that too. You yell when baby Chase is crying and say, I can't hear, mommy, I can't hear. You like to color, play with cars, and watch TV. Your favorite shows are Caillou, Barney, and Teletubbies. You love the water and you have no fear of it. Last summer when we got our pool, you would jump right in. You scared both grandmas and grandpas to death because you have no fear. You love to swim for hours and hours. This summer should be a lot of fun and keep me really busy. You have stuck stickers all over your brother's footboard of his bed. You torment our dogs and have gotten bitten a time or two. You still love to dance and you love taking baths, and you make sure you get a bath every day. Either that or you'll shower with mommy. You get excited when Andrew gets back from his dad's. You know where he is too when we say, where's Andrew? You and Andrew fight all the time, and when you wrestle, you sure are pretty tough with Andrew. Or you're pretty tough with Andrew. You wouldn't know that there's a 5.5-year age gap. I will try to write in here more often, as it is sure hard to keep up with 3 journals these days. I love you so much. Lots of hugs, Mom. So Blake's, let's see. Looks like I never wrote in it again. What? So maybe what I'll do, let's see, this video is already pretty long. Let's see if I can get through. Oh, okay, so basically I wrote in Andrew's April 2nd, 2004 because he got his tonsils taken out that day. I'm sitting here at Wildwood Surgical Center with you right after you had your tonsils and adenoids removed. Mommy is so worried about you, but you seem to be doing pretty well. You haven't said that your throat hurts, you just keep complaining about the IV in your hand. And you're busy eating a popsicle right now, so far so good. Well, may as well write a little bit about how things are going with you. You're growing like a weed, a very, very tall one. Baseball's going to be starting up soon, your best sport. You can really hit the ball. This fall, you will be playing tackle football for the first time. You aren't really excited about that either. You keep telling everyone that KK is making you play. So when you are an all-star player for some team someday, I can remind you that we made you play. I really think that baseball will end up being your best sport overall. You're just built like a baseball player. So enough about sports. School, 2nd grade. Wow, how time flies. I can still remember taking you to your first day of preschool like it was yesterday. And now you're about to be 9 years old. You're getting pretty good grades in school so far. You have excellent math skills and you ace just about every spelling test. The only bad marks you get on your grade card are for your handwriting and that you like to be a little jabberjaw. Your handwriting can be really neat when you want it to, but the teachers are always telling you that you just need to take more time. You seem to enjoy school quite a bit, which is great. As for your family, well, it just keeps on growing. I'm pregnant right now, finally with a girl too. Carly is due to be born the beginning of August. Between you between your dad and I, you will have 3 brothers and 2 sisters. Wow. Well, you are going to be home soon. Right now you are watching, you are going to be home soon. Right now you are watching Mask with your dad and KK. Mask. Oh, they must have went to the movies to see it or something. Anyways, May 2nd, 2010. 6 years has passed since my last time writing. Ouch, my hand hurts already. Nowadays, I do everything on the computer. We're about to leave to go to your baseball game. You are playing for a travel baseball team called Northwest Warriors. This is your 2nd year playing with them. Last year, you actually went to Myrtle Beach for the Cal Ripken tournament. We should have been more excited about going there, but we had actually just gone to Myrtle Beach the year before for a family vacation. So let's see, that was in 2008. So in 2007, we did the whole Disney trip in Florida with my parents. This year, we're planning on going to Cancun for the first time. Oh wait, when we went to Myrtle Beach the first time, we also went to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. We stayed there for a few days. The last summer when we went to Myrtle Beach, we went to Pennsylvania first and went to the Hershey factory and an amusement park. Part of my whole life philosophy is to travel as much as we can. I work every day to be able to take the family different places. Speaking of 3 years ago, KK and I started a new business. It's a physician recruitment placement company, and we find doctors' jobs for our clients in Michigan and Ohio. Every year we close more jobs than the year before. So far, so good. That's literally how I ended this. Wow. That's really random. Like, what did I think I was gonna come back and finish it, and I never did. So yeah, that's all that is in Blake and Andrew's books. So next time when we start, we'll actually be back to Chase's book, and which there's only a few updates. Well, no, his book's a little different. I'll show you guys. His has photos in it. So I did his a little bit different because I had my blog back then. And then we'll start in Carly's, which there's a lot of the stuff in Carly's is typed out as well, because again, I did all these updates on the computer on my blog. So only looks like we'll probably have maybe 2 or 3 more episodes of this series, and then we'll be wrapping that up, and then we'll have to start a new fun series that I can do with you guys. So thanks guys so much for watching. I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.